Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever and wherever you are watching this. Welcome to our October reflections. Ideally, you are watching this sometime early on in November, but I also recognize YouTube is YouTube, and you may be watching this in January 2027 for all I know. These are our 10 October reflections from 2024. And if you've seen this, odds are that this is probably the first reflection video you're seeing. We've decided that we're going to start doing this for ourselves and for you. We're going to reflect every month. We're going to post a video about it, obviously, starting now, starting October 2024, aka November 1st. So, hello, my friend. You're seeing this early on, sometime in 2024. You're early, and if not, well, welcome anyways. We're going to start with the 10 reflections. We have a beautiful journal right here of all our reflections from this month. So, without further regard, let's begin with lesson number 1. Bold actions create bold results. We had a beautiful conversation. So we gave out many free coaching calls this month, and we had a conversation with an older woman who was like 70, 80 years old, maybe 65. And this woman was the most energetic woman, energetic person I've ever formally met. Not know people on the internet, celebrities, etc. But in terms of people I met, including myself, she was by far, no one, including myself, even compared to her, how energetic and how bold she was with the action she was taking. And she told me, I forget the actual name of it, but I believe something like the positive people's creed, for lack of a better word right now. And part of it was, and when she said it too, was bold action creates bold results. And she said it in a woman's voice, but very strong, older, raspy woman's voice, just like that. And this energetic woman completely destroyed a reality I had in my mind of once you hit a certain age, you need to act, think, be, do a certain way. Because not only was she energetic, but she was... Oh, I think we may have just witnessed a car crash. We did. She was way more energetic than I was. And she really shattered a mindset I had around being and operating a certain way, and helped me understand how much more opportunity there was for me if I just stepped boldly into it. Lesson number 2, you don't need to be financially ashamed. So here's my story on that. For about 3.5 years, and once again, odds are by the time you're seeing this video, the video has already been posted of it, but if you have not seen the video explaining it in greater detail, and I will card it here for you, about the last 3.5, anywhere 3 to 4 years, I've been living in a financially broke, number 1, mindset, and number 2, situation, because I have not accepted myself and different circumstances around finances. And so with that, I have been coaching people, and I have needed to get a job myself, but I felt so ashamed of talking around being broke, especially as an entrepreneur, and accepting the reality of I need to get a job, and that in destroying the old reality of, oh, you're an entrepreneur, you shouldn't need to get a job, you just need to work more hours or believe more in yourself. But odds are, sometimes you may actually need a job, and I'm not gonna get there yet, but we have another lesson relating to this, and we'll get there later. But I learned that it's okay to talk about your finances with people, and most importantly, to be completely, boldly honest with yourself about your finances. It's necessary. If you want to make progress, you need to be honest. You need to accept where you're at, and then after that, you need to take action based on where you're at in order to create where you need to go. And for me, a lot of that was around finances, because I've always believed that I'm pretty well off in all the other aspects of my life except for finances, and I had to be honest with myself. And it was hard, but I realized throughout that process I have nothing to be ashamed of. I've done my best. I've believed in myself as much as I could have. I don't need to be financially ashamed anymore. You may need to get a job. If you're a coach, if you're an entrepreneur watching this, and your finances aren't where they are, or you're even experiencing being broke like I was, you may need to get a job, and that's okay. Okay? And that takes me to lesson number 3, which is slow down. There's no need to rush. Look, if you're 23 or 24 or 34 or 44 or even 54 or even 18 watching this, and you're looking at other entrepreneurs, or you're looking at other coaches, or you're looking at other people whether it's health and fitness, finances, relationships, anything else. Maybe they're traveling and you're not, and you're comparing yourself to them, which is fine, and you're judging yourself based on that. You need to slow down and to reassess what it is you want and make a plan to get it. Odds are, if you're rushing, you don't have a plan. Odds are, if you're rushing, you're comparing yourself to other people and judging yourself because guess what? You don't have a plan. And that takes me to lesson number 4, which is plan. This will take away most self-judgment you have against yourself, because most of your judgment is coming when you compare yourself to other people and you're looking at what you're doing and you're saying, I'm not doing enough, or I'm not enough. If you have a plan in place, you cannot look at yourself and say, I'm not doing enough, because you're doing your best with a plan that is in place, most importantly, that you're following through on. If you're not following through on your plan, that's a whole other story. But if you have a plan in place and you're following through with it, I have seen that I needed to create a 6-month plan because I was not following through. I didn't have a plan in place, and I was just being a little chaotic, kind of hoping things would work out, and I would find myself comparing myself to other people or self-judging myself based on where I thought I should be by now, what I thought I should have by now, who I thought I should be, and different aspects of the shoulds, right? And I realized that I had nothing to compare it to because I didn't have a formalized plan in place. So when I was just comparing it to anything else, it was always just a lose-lose situation. But now that I had something tangible, a plan to compare what I was doing to, I was either doing it or not doing it. And so no judgment entered there. It was either, Michael, you're following your plan, or Michael, you're not following your plan. If you're following your plan, great. Keep going. If you're not, great. Follow the plan, man. So combining lesson 3 of slow down and lesson 4 of plan, we have lesson 5, which is you don't need to change. Okay? So when you slow down, and if you have a plan, but you don't need really a plan for this, but it will help you. It will help you feel better. But when you slow down, you will see, and I have seen, so I'll speak from my experience, that there's a lot of things that you're just choosing to struggle with, that you don't need to struggle with. But you need to take the time to see that these patterns are going on, so you can just see them for what they are, which is an unnecessary pattern in your life, and just consciously let it go. So I have seen, especially in the last week, that I don't need to choose, and so hence I got a job, for example. I don't need to choose to struggle with finances anymore. I can just get a job. Struggle is always a choice. I don't need to change. I don't need to fight these patterns in my life. I don't need to fight my own mind and my own thoughts. I just need to slow down and be with myself more. I just need to follow what I want to do more, instead of trying to fight against different people's opinions or fight against who I should be or what I should be doing. I just need to slow down and let that all go. I don't need to change. I just need to see myself and to give myself that space to release things. Big difference there. One, for me at least, one was a constant struggle, a constant uphill battle, a constant trying to convince myself I'm doing enough. The other one was, wow, I feel so relaxed. I feel so fulfilled. I feel so even energized from it. And that partially goes with the plan. You don't need a plan to just release things. But that, for me, that definitely helped. Kind of brings me into lesson 6. Struggle is a choice. There's a difference between struggling with something and having difficulty with something. There's a very nuanced and very small difference, but there is a difference. You buy into ideas, you buy into habits, you buy into patterns, which also means you can easily, just as easily, buy out of them, buy out of ideas. So from my own experience, one day I just decided to stop believing in lack. Regardless of what other people said around me, I lack this, and I was like, I don't lack anything. I don't even believe in the idea of lack anymore, because I related lack to struggle, and I do believe in struggle because it's a choice, but I don't believe in lack. And when I stopped believing in lack, because for me, when I believed in lack, it was a struggle. I was like, struggle's a choice. What can I stop choosing to believe in struggle and to be struggling? Oh, if I stop believing in lack, I really won't be struggling. So I stopped believing in lack. Lack of time was a big one for me. And I realized, actually with the help of my girlfriend, SD, that most of the times that I was struggling, also known as unconsciously choosing to struggle, I was just telling myself I didn't have enough time to do the things I wanted to do, which was an unconscious choice that I was consciously allowing myself to be influenced by. Understand that if you are choosing to struggle, you are choosing to play victim, and that you are not living in creator mode, you are living in survival mode. For me, I'm through with that shit. I encourage you to be through with that shit too if you're not already, because it's so much better living that way. But at the end of this lesson, at least, just understand on a basic level that struggle is a choice. And you can destroy that choice, you can make a different choice. You're free to choose whatever decisions you want to make and to choose whatever life you want to create. Lesson number 7. 2 words. My fault. This kind of goes with struggle as a choice in that everything is up to you. I have really learned this month to be humble. And to give you a specific experience with this, there have been many times this month I wanted to respond to what my girlfriend Esty was saying and to what my mother was saying and telling me about myself and my circumstances, and I felt so angry, so misunderstood. But I realized that that anger was actually anger at myself and not anger at what they were saying. I was not fully ready emotionally to hear what they were saying, but I let myself sit in that anger and humility when they were saying it to me. And instead of just reacting and voicing out my opinion, I actually let myself sit in that anger, let myself listen to them, be humbled by what they were saying. This is more than just my mom and my girlfriend, various other people and circumstances as well. And I actually let myself learn. And then I realized that part of, at least, what they were saying was actually right, and that I could change because I had listened. And actually, by the time they were done speaking, I felt very grateful because I was like, number one, I just became a better person because I became a better listener. I humbled myself, which is one of, in my opinion, the hardest things to do. Now, always, for me, it's always hard. Sometimes it gets easier, but just like cold showers, staying humble is a pretty fucking hard thing to do, especially with someone with a big ego, okay? But I learned that by the end of what they were saying, some of what they were saying was actually right. And so since like I was humble and I was now out of reaction in survival mode and in my heart space listening, I was able to fully understand what they were saying and then incorporate it into my life and become a better person, entrepreneur, coach, man, soul, etc. Be humble. It will do 10 times more for you than you even think it will. It's so worth it's literally one of the best things you can do for yourself and others, to be humble. Not in the I'm not going to share what I'm proud about way, but in the terms of I feel angry, I feel misunderstood, but someone's talking to me, I'm going to listen before I speak back to them. Be humble. All right. Lesson number 8. Simple. Sometimes the simplest answer is actually the best answer. So for me, a big theme of this month has been finances, and you've seen it in this video. The simplest answer for me over the last fucking 3 years, maybe even 4, but definitely 3, was get a job. Your finances are bad. It's not working out with the business how you thought it should be or how quickly you thought it should be. You need money, man. Get a job. Simple answer. Typical answer, but still, simplest answer is sometimes the best answer. So it wasn't working out for me financially. I knew in my heart of hearts, in my mind, that the simplest answer was, okay, like, you tell anyone you need money, their immediate reaction is going to be, okay, like, what job do I need to get? But for me, for some reason, I was different. It didn't apply to me. That was such an ego hit. I was refusing to look at a simple answer because my ego was involved and because I felt ashamed of it. But really, with finances, with health and wellness, like, if you want to lose weight, stop fucking eating so much and go to the gym. Or you may need to, like, lower your stress, because weight can do that. We'll go off in another video about that potentially, but sometimes the best answers, usually actually, the best answers are the simplest answers, whether it's financially, with your relationship. Like, if someone's treating you like shit, simple answer is fucking leave them. Don't try to work on yourself. Leave that asshole. If your fitness level is not where you want it to be at, work out more. If you want to go outside more but don't have time in the morning, wake up earlier. Sometimes most of the time, the best answers are the simplest answers. Get your ego out of the picture and get the story out of the picture. Be humble and keep it simple, Sally. Kiss. I don't like saying stupid, so keep it simple, Sally. Lesson number 9. Have multiple ways. You don't need to limit yourself to only one, Okay, I have two examples from this. Two experiences this year, this month of October for me. Number one, with our company, SCNI's company, Our New Energy. Instead of only reaching out to people on Instagram or only cold calling people, and this is our fancy word, soulmate energy system, which means how we create and get clients. We're doing multiple different things, which is we are reaching out to people on Instagram. We are making YouTube videos. We are reaching out to people on Facebook. We are reaching out on text messaging. There's 4 different ways right there. We don't need to limit ourselves to only one. And to tell you how freeing that has been so freeing. And then number 2, on another aspect of finances, you don't need to have only one stream of income. And man, did I think I was so set on that. Here's an example for myself for this month. I have Our New Energy, our company. I have working at Crunch. I have walking the dogs. There's 3 different streams of, I have dog walking. 3 different streams of income right there. And so I'm not super depending on one, especially with the job. Feeling financially stable really helps me not depend on the other 2. But having multiple seeds planted in multiple baskets and trusting in the universe to water those, alongside me watering them too, but knowing and understanding that like whatever is meant to take hold will take hold, and I may not know the full plan yet because I'm a fucking human being. I may not have full foresight of what's exactly going to happen and when it's going to happen, but I'm watering multiple different seeds. I have many different baskets. That feels so good. And it feels more true to me. To briefly say it, if you're in human design, I'm a I am a manifesting generator. So my nature is to have multiple things going on, not just one. So for me, not limiting myself to one, but having multiple things going on where I am putting my focus into them feels so freeing, so good, so me. That's lesson number 9. Lesson number 10, our final one. Be loud and proud. Fucking be loud, man. So to be completely candid and transparent with you, this has been probably one of the hardest ones I've had to learn this month, and I'm still in the big process of learning it. I have some trauma that is being healed right now. I have some definitely some beliefs and stories around it that I'm feeling a little unaware of that cause deep feelings of insecurity and uncomfortability around sharing my stories with the world, and especially with intimate people who are intimate with me in my life, in terms of close relationships, like my close friends, like my girlfriend Esty. And this month, especially with her, it has been fucking hard. Not all the time, and it is on an upward trend, which is great. But overall, it has been pretty challenging to share myself. And she wants to listen to me, which is like great. Sometimes it's even hard when I know that too. To share my stories. Like she'll ask, babe, how was your day? And sometimes like I'll literally think to myself, she doesn't want to hear this. And obviously that's not true. She's literally asking, how's my day? But I have learned so deeply this month. Like I need to share what I have to share. I need to do it loudly too and proudly. And it's not been a struggle, because struggle is a choice, but it has been hard, very challenging. And so I want you to know, you have stories, you have experiences, you have your own wisdom, you have your own advice and opinions to share. All of that is important. I see you for that. I know, oh my God, I know how hard sometimes it can be to share that. Probably because just like you grew up around people who very strongly influence you to feel like a piece of shit, or misunderstood, or invalidated for sharing your feelings or your opinions or your advice. I could go on and on. I'm sure you have experience with this as a child like I did. It's not fun, it's hard, I get it. But do your inner child a favor and share your stories with the world and let them fucking shine through loudly and proudly. My friend, this is something that I'm actively working on this month. So to tell you I'm fully not healed, that's not the right word, fully through it is wrong. That would be lying. I'm not. I want to work with you and do this with you together. So I'm here for you. And that's lesson 10. And that is our overall recap and reflections of October 2024. So whether you're watching this in January 2028 or December 2157 if YouTube still exists, or October 2025, whenever you're watching this. Thank you for showing up. I would really love to know, and if you could be so bold and so kind as to comment which lesson resonated with you the most, or maybe lessons, right? We're not limiting ourselves here to only one. I would really, really, really feel grateful for that. So if you could comment that, like the video, share this video with your friends if you know they'll benefit. That would mean the world to me, my friend. Last thing, we have currently 7 days of free confidence coaching going on in our community. If you're interested in that, the link below, there will be a link below in the description to click that, and you can check that out, and I'd love to have you as a part of our community. But either way, thank you for showing up. Comment your favorite or multiple favorite lessons down below, and I look forward to seeing you in another video.